The night was strangely silent, as if the entire city was holding its breath. Jennifer was in a deep sleep, but something moved through a crack in the darkness. The curtain by the window slowly began to sway, not from the wind, but like an ominous breath. And then, a slight pressure on the mattress, the weight of a heavy step. Jennifer's eyes opened. She saw two burning eyes, breath so hot as if fire were coming out of them. In the hand, a sharp, shining knife, shimmering in the light. In those eyes, there was unfinished hunger, madness, and obsession. A moment of silence, and then a muffled scream. Then, once again, the same silence. Endless silence. Pine Hill, the city that welcomed every morning like a poem. Today, its peace had drowned in the sounds of blood and fear. No one had ever imagined that even in this quiet city, darkness was sleeping. No one knew that tonight, that darkness would awaken. But the question was, why this murder?
Welcome to Crime Mind. Today we bring you the murder case of Jennifer Johnson, a story where the foundation of trust begins to shake and in the name of love, a monster is born. This is not just a murder, it is the history of a mind slowly falling apart. A complex relationship becomes the victim, an innocent life, and its bloody end. So make sure to watch the video till the end, because every moment of this story hides a trap, and behind every character lies a mystery.
That morning, the sun did not rise over Pine Hill. Only the shadow of morning did. Sirens, police tape, flashes of cameras. Mark came running, and seeing Jennifer's lifeless body, his world shattered. The light faded from his eyes. His scream stuck in his throat. Daniel also arrived, a broken face, trembling voice. God, Jennifer. Standing at a distance was Linda, lips pressed tight, hands clasped firmly, breathing fast. Can a monster hide behind a human face? Yes, it can. And today, Pine Hill saw exactly that. Police Detective Mitchell slowly walked around the room, his eyes calm and sharp like a hunter's. He noticed fear in someone's eyes, and in someone else's eyes, a heavy, hidden secret. The murder may have happened quietly, but the path to truth always makes noise. And following that sound, the investigation began.
To understand the truth of this case, first, you need to understand the city of Pine Hill and the story of two friends, two couples.
Pine Hill. From the outside, a city like a dream. Green hills, gentle sunlight, the laughter of parks, streets filled with the aroma of coffee. People smile, children run, lovers walk hand in hand. Here, the word crime itself seemed unfamiliar. But in such quiet cities are born the most dangerous monsters. Because beneath layers of peace lie hidden wounds, and behind smiling faces, rotting restlessness. Two couples lived here, Daniel and Linda, Mark and Jennifer. Picnics together on holidays, barbecues, weekend trips, wine on the porch, laughter and joy, like the picture of a perfect friendship. The four of them seemed to echo in the same rhythm. But not every melody is sweet. Sometimes within that melody hides a demon. Where laughter hides an echo of emptiness, within affection, forbidden attraction, and in the eyes of friendship, concealed desire.
From the outside, these relationships looked perfect, but deep inside were buried desires, hidden temptations. Where trust is strongest, the sound of breaking is the loudest, and here, not only trust will break, the mind, the conscience, even life itself will shatter. And right here in this very city, from a night of laughter and glasses of wine, was born a dangerous game where the line between love and lust disappeared, and from there began the end.
From the outside, their relationships looked like a fairy tale. But in reality, they had exchanged their wives in search of new pleasure. Behind one curtain, Jennifer in Daniel's bed and Linda in Mark's bed. From above, it looked like an open relationship, but inside, a fire of suspicion, fear, and unease was slowly being born. Linda did not say much, but her eyes told stories. Every night, Daniel's late return, every whispering phone call, every strange absence was building walls inside her heart. The most dangerous house for a human being is his mind, and Linda's mind had now become a dark labyrinth. She began to feel that something was terribly wrong. But who was doing wrong? Daniel? Or was she herself going mad? Truth does not speak loudly. It only whispers. And Linda had started listening to that whisper.
Yes, you heard that right. They exchanged their wives with each other for the intoxication of a new kind of pleasure. But did that very intoxication become the doom of these two couples?
The city was asleep. But some people love the night. Because in the night, real faces come out. One night, Linda saw messages hidden in Daniel's phone. Messages full of love for someone else. And that someone else was Jennifer. Her breath began to choke. The room felt too small. Her own house began to feel like a stranger's place. Betrayal does not scream. It silently stabs the heart like a knife. And Linda realized her world of happiness was collapsing. Where love breaks, darkness is born.
Sometimes even the walls know the truth, but they cannot speak. Linda and Daniel's house, where laughter once echoed, is now filled with the silence of fear. Every step cautious, every breath filled with suspicion. Daniel knows everything, and yet knows nothing.
Now, Linda was not just suspicious, she was afraid. But what was the real fear? That her husband was betraying her? Or that he was about to do something even more terrifying? A question began burning inside her. Was the relationship between Daniel and Jennifer no longer just a game? When suspicion and truth become one, a war begins. And it is silent. The deeper the night, the more awake the truth. Linda could no longer sleep. She wanted to know the truth, at any cost. Linda realized that Daniel had become dangerously obsessed with Jennifer. When love breaks, the heart cries. But when trust breaks, the soul shatters. And that night, Linda's soul was wounded.
This was no longer just physical attraction. It had turned into possession and obsession. Linda understood it. Jennifer did too. But Mark? He kept thinking, this is just a matter of time. But Daniel's world had now shrunk to revolve only around Jennifer. At the office, at dinner, on the street, everywhere he looked, he saw only her.
One day, the four of them went to spend a holiday by a lake. But instead of peace, a storm rose there. Daniel took Jennifer alone in a boat. He said, "Leave everything. It's just you and me." Jennifer shivered. Where there was once excitement, now there was only fear. In the light of the campfire, Linda understood everything. Her eyes filled with tears, but she did not cry. She burned inside. Because every crime does not begin with blood. Some begin with suspicion.
Jennifer finally decided enough was enough. She said, "Daniel, no more. We are making a huge mistake. Let's end this here." But could Daniel let Jennifer go so easily?
The morning was cold. Mist had gathered on the windows. Daniel's voice was heavy. "You can't leave me like this, Jennifer." When love turns into an illness, all that remains is possession. Jennifer realized Daniel had become dangerous. She started avoiding him. At the gym, at home, at the office. Everywhere, he followed her. From his lips came only one sentence. "You are mine. Only mine." Frightened, Jennifer first told her friends. Then she even told Linda. Linda tried to intervene, but Daniel was already broken from within. And then Linda learned the terrible truth Daniel was hiding.
Have you ever felt like someone is watching you? A cold chill runs down the back of your neck, yet there's no wind around. That's how Jennifer's days were passing. Daniel's calls, his silent messages, his shadow everywhere. And Mark? He still believed that Daniel was probably still lost in that old game. But the truth? It was the silence before the storm.
The night was unusually quiet. Pine Hill seemed to be holding its breath. A faint light in Jennifer's room, the ticking of a clock, and the shadow of fear. She lay on the bed, eyes closed, but not asleep. Suddenly, a faint sound. Glass, wind, or something else. Her heart began to race. Then the sound again, clearer this time. The curtain moved, not the wind. Someone was there. In the moonlight, a shadow grew larger. Jennifer's eyes opened, time froze. It was Daniel, broken light in his eyes, cold, shining steel in his hand. And from his lips came the words, If you can't be mine, you will belong to no one.
Not every killer arrives screaming. Some come quietly, carrying the knife of time. And this was that moment, when love turned to ashes and desire became a deadly obsession. That night, Jennifer's room was no longer a home. It was a closed door with suffocating fate inside.
Morning, the police arrived. One by one, Mark, Daniel, and Linda were questioned. Daniel acted the part of a grieving friend. I lost my friend, but guilt consumed him. He drowned in alcohol, nightmares, and fear. Mark was also shattered, but the truth could not stay hidden for long. Police examined Jennifer's phone records. They found Daniel's obsessive messages. A neighbor also said he had seen Daniel's car outside Jennifer's house that night. Then they found pieces of burnt clothes buried in the ground. Phone records, the neighbor's statement, the clothing evidence. All the arrows pointed toward Daniel. Detective Mitchell said, "Tell the truth, or it's all over." Under the pressure of interrogation, Daniel finally broke. He confessed everything.
After the trial, the court delivered its verdict. Daniel was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Linda received 15 years in prison for destroying evidence and assisting the crime, with the possibility of conditional release after 10 years. But is punishment really the end?
Roll also came out. She knew everything. In the end, she too accepted the truth. Mark stood with Jennifer's photograph in his hand, tears in his eyes. Losing the love of his life had shattered him. The court's verdict gave him a little peace, but not the city. That day, Pine Hill learned, when emotions explode, even love can turn into poison. Hidden relationships are never a game, and the darkness hiding behind friendship can sometimes take away a life. Not every story has a happy ending. And in cities like Pine Hill, sometimes, behind the silence, death is also hiding.
So remember, the happiness that appears before the eyes is not always real. Because in the game of emotions, sometimes death also steps in. This was today's true story. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will return with another true crime story. Until then, stay alert, stay safe.